Hey guys, it's Dr. Nkosi Darnell here speaking with you, aka Techie SLP and owner of Clearview Speech and Consulting Services. And I really wanted to reach out to you just to let you know a little bit more about a topic that is one that you may not think of as being related to speech and language disorders, but it is. And it truly has a pretty high impact on our children and students. It's the topic of ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And really, a lot of my clients who I've worked with over the years have had a diagnosis of ADHD, whether, and concomitantly they had disorders such as autism spectrum disorder, Down syndrome, Fragile X syndrome, executive functioning weaknesses, and so on. And so I really want to talk about a good resource to go to really, learn a little bit more about how ADHD can interact with other disorders or diagnoses, and just to give you some resources that are free out there. But before we do all of that, I actually want to go through some different statistics that I have gotten from that resource site that I think are really important for you to know. So I'm actually going to make sure I get everything and go over my list that I have. But if you didn't know, ADHD is actually one of the most prevalent disorders in the United States. There are over 6 million children affected by ADHD. And between the ages of 2 and 17. And so if you think about these children in school, you can consider what types of resources are being made available to help them. So if we just look at it, statistically, and as far as prevalence is concerned, we know that boys are more often diagnosed with ADHD more so than girls. We also know that it's a very expensive disorder to address. Parents who have children who do not have a diagnosis of ADHD spend about close to $3,000 a year on that child. Parents with a child who has a diagnosis of ADHD spend over $15,000 a year trying to get additional services for their child. There are at least 1 in 5 students who have ADHD who do not receive services at the school level. And so their needs are not even being addressed. And so you might see them struggling a little bit in different areas academically and socially as a result. There's approximately 41 to 55% of families with at least one child who has a diagnosis of ADHD who also has a parent with that same diagnosis. And so you can see they're just different factors just to consider when you're talking about ADHD. And I also now want to go and show you my screen here on the site. Now the site that I love is called ADDitude. Okay, so you can just go to ADDitudemag.com. It's a magazine, but they also have this wonderful website that has a bevy of resources. So if you take a look at the menu bar, you can see you can actually subscribe to receive their magazines, as well as subscribe for their different resources such as their webinars. That's what I really enjoy, honestly. But let's just go down the screen so you can see there are different areas to look at, such as ADHD, specifically the symptoms and different tests that can be given. They also have different treatment approaches, parenting tips, as well as a section for teachers to where you can really learn the resources that you need to help students who struggle with this. And they also have a section for ADHD in adults. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the community section. You can see within the community, they actually have discussion forums. And so you'll see where parents will go through and post a question. So you can look here and see all the different questions that the parents have posted, and they will have a whole discussion table on that specific area. They also have wonderful tools within their webinars. Literally, they are giving free webinars every week. And sometimes it's several webinars in a week. You can hardly keep up, honestly. So if we look at the free webinars, for instance, here's an upcoming one. It's on living in uncertain times, coping strategies for adults on the autism spectrum. scale. And so it's just, amazing that they have these types of resources available for free. And you can take it no matter who you are, whether you're a professional, a parent, so on. All you have to do, honestly, is submit your email and they will send you a link to register for the live webinar. Or if you're unable to attend at that time, they will give you the recording, which is fabulous. So, I mean, you can look for the month of July at all of these webinar options you have, like when behavior impedes learning. Oh, you're so emotional. So, emotional regulation, which is very important, an important skill for our children and students to learn. And so there's a whole index, and they do a lot on executive functioning skills as well, which is really my baby that I love. And so, because a lot of times children with ADHD might have difficulty with what we call their executive functioning skills, being able to regulate their thinking and their behavior so they can reach those long-term goals. And so you can see other tools that they have. You can do like free downloads. They have a podcast that you can go and listen to if you're more of an auditory learner. Like look at this one podcast. It's like what every teacher should know about ADHD, right? So they give you like posters and just different resources that you can use in the classroom as well as at home. And you can see some wonderful downloads they have here would be like, accommodations for children with ADHD. So this would be a great thing to discuss maybe during your child's IEP meeting, or even just like in the classroom. How can you accommodate like if they're weak in one area? And look, they even have a worksheet for executive functioning skills. So let's just take a quick look at that, for instance. And what you have to do, and this is like how it works every time, you just submit your email into this and then it'll give you the free download, right? So then I'm just going to download it really quickly. And you'll see like they have this worksheet. So then you go through and you complete it. So what are their challenges, for instance? Oh, they're having difficulty getting started and finishing their classwork. So some different strategies you could use would be giving them reminders like that are visual. You can give them a private signal as a reminder, like pull on your ear. Student selects a nearby student to tap his or her arm as a reminder. So just like really practical guidelines that you can use that will really help you. So then let's go back and we are also going to take a look. You can see they have a section for professionals. So whether you're a clinician and whether you're an educator, you can also look at the research updates as well. And if you want to find a professional near you who can actually give you further guidance, they have a directory that you can follow and go to as well. And so I'm just going to go to the teacher section for an example. So here, you can see it says teaching strategies for students with ADHD. So just different ideas to help them do well. And so they have all of a plethora of resources to help teachers as well as parents provide solutions for students struggling with this or adults struggling with this. So a lot of times I have adults reach out to me to say that I'm experiencing difficulty completing my assignments at work, or I'm having trouble, in college, for instance, for college students and getting, assignments done in a timely manner, or even being motivated to complete, my research paper, things like that. And so there are wonderful resources on this site that are free. And I just wanted to give you a quick share so you would know that you have this at your fingertips. Okay, take care. God bless. Bye.